The New York Giants have named Jaxson Dart as the new starter. The Giants are 0-3. Outside of that Dallas game, they can't move the ball. J-Mac and I have discussed this before. I don't ever remember a quarterback going from elite to nobody wants to be his coach faster than Russell Wilson. Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, both moved off him quickly. He went to the Steelers. They moved off him. And now Brian Daboll is moving off him as a starter.
Man, that's brutal. Well deserved, but that's a massive downfall for Russell Wilson. Clearly, the end is near if it is not already there for Russell Wilson. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Colin Cowherd roasting Russell Wilson for having a massive downfall. Life definitely comes fast in the NFL, that's for sure. Things are definitely bad for Russell Wilson when one of his biggest supporters in Colin Cowherd is saying Russell Wilson has been unwanted by several head coaches. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Should Russell Wilson officially call it quits for his NFL career? Absolutely. It is beyond clear Russell Wilson is washed up and that he needs to retire ASAP. I said on Monday that Russell Wilson should be given one more chance to start an NFL game. Well, guess what? The New York Giants decided that it was not worth taking another shot to see if Russell Wilson still has it in the NFL. They are officially ending the Russell Wilson experiment and going to Jaxson Dart at the quarterback position. Obviously, they told Russell Wilson that he was going to be a bridge quarterback for them this year. Well, the bridge only lasted 3 games before it burned because Russell Wilson has been terrible in 2 of his 3 NFL starts. Yes, I understand Russell Wilson had a great game against the Dallas Cowboys, but it's not like Russell Wilson was perfect in that game. He still threw a terrible looking interception in overtime, and the New York Giants lost that ball game by 3 points. So obviously the New York Giants, they feel like they need to make a change at quarterback in order to save Brian Daboll's job. By the way, it's not going to work out for Brian Daboll. I've seen this movie way too many times where a lame duck head coach makes a change at quarterback hoping for something different, and the reality of the situation is the Giants' issues run a lot deeper than the quarterback position. I remember the New York Giants blamed Daniel Jones for why they struggled the last couple of years. He was getting ripped by the media every single week. I still remember L. Duncan mocking Daniel Jones when he got cut by that organization mid-season. Well, obviously Daniel Jones has looked a lot better on the Indianapolis Colts compared to how he looked on the New York Giants. I remember Daniel Jones getting ripped by the media, and now he has proven those guys wrong. And obviously Saquon Barkley, he used to be a former Giant. Now he's on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's a Super Bowl champion. Xavier McKinney, former New York Giants safety. He was a decent ball player for them. Now he's on the Green Bay Packers. He's having a fantastic season for them. So it may be a Giants organization problem. I don't think the Giants problem was the quarterback position to begin with, and now Jaxson Dart is going to be playing quarterback for them. I feel bad for Jaxson Dart because this is a kid that needed to sit down at least a year to clean up his throwing mechanics. He needed to clean up his footwork. Look, Jaxson Dart is great at executing read option plays and RPOs, but it's not like Jaxson Dart can actually run a real NFL offense. Ole Miss did not do a good job preparing Jaxson Dart for that style offense at the professional level. Jaxson Dart is now going to be thrown into the fire where he might not necessarily be ready to go. Yeah, he can run the RPO stuff really well. Yeah, he's got arm talent. Yeah, he can run the read option really well. Yeah, he's an underrated athlete, but Jaxson Dart doesn't have the football IQ that you need to play at the NFL level. And also, the Giants O-line is pretty bad in general. So now he's going to be playing behind a terrible offensive line. You got a rookie quarterback that's about to go through a brutal part of the schedule. The results are not going to end pretty for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll is going to get fired sooner rather than later. I know he's doing this to try to save his own coaching career in New York, but quite frankly, it's not going to work out whatsoever. I also want to show you guys this clip of Pat McAfee reacting to Jaxson Dart starting in place of Russell Wilson during live time. His show airs at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Russell Wilson was benched at approximately 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday, so Pat McAfee was able to give out his reactions in live time. I found it rather interesting. Roll the film.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a breaking of news for the New York Football Giants. Jaxson Dart will be starting for the New York Football Giants going forward. Daboll was non-committal at first to who was going to be a starter. Now Jaxson Dart, the future of the New York Giants, will be wearing the starter helmet.
Thank you, Pat McAfee. I think that is how almost everybody felt about Jaxson Dart coming into the starting lineup for the New York Giants. And look, I get it. I like Jaxson Dart's politics. I like Jaxson Dart as a man. I like his character in general. And he seems to be an absolutely good dude. I hope for nothing but the best for Jaxson Dart at the quarterback position. But as far as Jaxson Dart having a successful season or not in New York, I don't see that happening. I don't believe Jaxson Dart is going to have a good year at all as a rookie. I believe Jaxson Dart is going to get pressured a lot, and he's going to start pressing in the pocket, which is going to lead to mistakes. The New York Giants are going to be one of the worst teams in football. They are going to be an absolute clown show for the foreseeable future. Brian Daboll is still going to get fired midseason. If he doesn't get fired midseason, then he ends up getting fired by the end of the year. Either way, though, Brian Daboll is a dead man walking in New York. I don't really see how Brian Daboll is going to last past this year. I just don't see that happening. As for Russell Wilson, he's going to end up being the backup to Jaxson Dart, and this is probably going to be his final season in the NFL. Russell Wilson is now going to have to ride out the bench for the foreseeable future, and Russell Wilson has to admit that it is time for his NFL career to be wrapped up and that he doesn't have what it takes anymore to be a great quarterback in the NFL. Russell Wilson is a former Super Bowl champion. He's probably going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback when it's all said and done, but the last several years of Russell Wilson's career was not good whatsoever. Ever since he requested a trade from the Seahawks, things have gone downhill for Russell Wilson. He sucked on the Broncos, where he kept screaming, "Broncos country, let's ride." And obviously, the only thing that he rode on the Broncos was riding his way to losing seasons. The Denver Broncos go ahead and cut him after 2 failed seasons in Denver. Then he goes to Pittsburgh. He tries to revive his career with Mike Tomlin as his head coach. It doesn't work out. Russell Wilson ends up looking like a pedestrian quarterback. He ends up losing in the wild card round of the playoffs. The Steelers then say, you know what? It's time to bail on the Russell Wilson experiment. Russell Wilson is not going to work out in the long term. The New York Giants then go ahead and sign Russell Wilson to be a bridge starter, which, by the way, Russell Wilson couldn't even do whatsoever. For Colin Cowherd to bash Russell Wilson the way he did, it is very telling that Russell Wilson should hang it up and that it is time to admit that he doesn't have what it takes to be a great quarterback in the NFL anymore. It's clear that the NFL is ready to move on to its next generation of star quarterbacks. Russell Wilson needs to admit that it is time for him to move on from his NFL career and do something else in his life, because clearly he doesn't have what it takes to be a great quarterback in the NFL. His athleticism severely diminished over the years, and although he still has a very good arm, it's not the same arm that he once had heading into the NFL. Russell Wilson is going to have a future Hall of Fame career, but as far as Russell Wilson getting more meaningful playing time, it's not going to happen anytime soon. The New York Giants was his last shot to prove that he was still an NFL starter somewhere. Clearly, Russell Wilson does not have what it takes to be an NFL starter. Even Colin Cowherd is admitting that. If he's saying that, then that means it is clear that Russell Wilson should not be an NFL starter moving forward. Therefore, Russell Wilson needs to retire ASAP. So that is why Russell Wilson should officially call it quits for his NFL career, as no NFL team should employ Russell Wilson on an NFL roster moving forward. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm gonna shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports guy talking.